and welcome to First Light. And today we are going to plunge into the hard truth. Now, yesterday, let me pull up my notes. Um, Yesterday, this is a very heavy, very heavy story. Yesterday, two children drowned in Guyana, and first of all, we want to take a moment of silence and pray for the family, extending our love to the family right now from wherever we are. But I woke up with a heavily burdened on this, feeling heavily burdened about this story, and I wanted to talk about it. The sister went in first. The brother saw her struggling and did what many of us would hope someone would do for us. He jumped in to save her. Both of them drowned. And when you hear something like that, your first instinct is grief. You imagine the family. You imagine the moment. You imagine two young lives that began the day with a future and ended the day in silence. But there's also something else that story tells. There is also something else in that story that we should not rush past. There is a kind of love that does not calculate. There is a kind of love that jumps. That brother did not pause to ask himself if the water was deep enough. He did not measure risk. He did not open a manual on rescue strategy. He saw someone he loved in danger, and his instinct was simple: go. There is something deeply human about that. Love is the purest form. It moves faster than fear. And what that child did yesterday, he jumped over when he saw his sister struggling in the water for her life. And the love for his sister took over the fear. The world often teaches us to be careful with our hearts. Guard yourself. Protect yourself. Think first. Calculate. But sometimes love does not operate on spreadsheets. Sometimes love acts in seconds. And that young boy, his love acted in seconds when he saw his sister struggling for her life in that trench yesterday. That young boy's love does not operate on spreadsheet. His instinct reminds us of something powerful about the human spirit. We are wired to protect one another. The human spirit is wired to protect one another. When I thought about this story, my mind went to the words of Jesus in John 15:13. Greater love has no man than this, that a man lay down his life for his friends. Now, that scripture is usually spoken about sacrifice in spiritual sense. But yesterday, in a quiet place near the waters in Guyana, We saw a literal picture of it. A brother who saw danger and stepped forward towards it, not away, but towards it. That is the kind of love that still exists in this world, even when the headlines are full of darkness. But here's the hard truth: there is also a lesson that we must speak honestly about. Love must sometimes be guided by wisdom. Many drownings happen this exact way. Someone struggles in water and the person trying to rescue them is pulled under too, and panic spreads. Strength fails, and suddenly, two lives are lost instead of one. It reminds us that struggle, it reminds us that courage is beautiful, but preparation saves lives. Let us normalize teaching our children to swim. Let us teach water safety. Let us teach them that rescue sometimes means calling for help instead of jumping in, because love should not have to die trying to save love. Stories like this shake us because they remind us how fragile life is. Imagine two children who likely laughed earlier that day, two children with plans for tomorrow, and suddenly tomorrow is gone from them. Which means the real question for the rest of us this morning is simple: how are we living with the time we have? Are we speaking love while we have the chance? Are we forgiving while we still can? Are we showing up for people while they're still here to receive it? Because life does not always send a warning. Sometimes it simply changes in the moment. So, this morning, let us hold that family in our prayers. But let us also honor the deeper meaning of what happened. A brother who loved his sister enough to jump. In a world that sometimes feels cold and selfish, that kind of instinct reminds us that compression or compassion is still alive in the human heart. And maybe the lesson for us today is this: love boldly, but live wisely, and never take a single morning for granted. I want to end today's session with: teach us to number our days, Lord, that we may gain a heart of wisdom. Teach us to number our days that we may gain a heart of wisdom. Good morning and have a wonderful Good morning and have a wonderful day.